Well, it was an ordinary Sunday morning run that suddenly turned into a fight for life.
For a new Baltimore dad and his daughter, it's also been a powerful reminder about the importance of being prepared. Kimberly Gill has their really incredible story.
Yeah, it really is incredible, guys. 54-year-old Chris Schornak was a seemingly healthy and fit Navy veteran who ran several times a week with his 18-year-old daughter, Karley. Chris was the type of dad who does surprise fire drills at home with fake smoke. He prided himself on preparing his kids for emergencies, but he never imagined he would be the one who needed help.
Yeah, I'll never forget September 24th. It was a typical Sunday morning. Karley and I will go running. And that particular day, we were going to do 8 miles. And all of a sudden, at 7.5 miles, I got really winded. And I passed out and hit the ground, busted my head open.
So I was ahead of him, and then I turned around when he called me and I saw him on the ground, and so I just sprinted to him, and his head was bleeding and he was on the ground. He was having trouble breathing.
Chris told Karley to call her mom, but not an ambulance. She didn't listen.
Then I called the ambulance, and he was like in and out saying, "You don't need to call the ambulance." And I was like, "No, I'm calling the ambulance." I got a glance at his watch, and his heart said 39, like his heart rate watch, and I was like, something's not right. It crossed my mind. I was like, am I gonna have to do CPR?
The ambulance arrived and rushed Chris to Henry Ford Health Macomb Hospital.
When they got me to the hospital, I said, "Well, what's wrong with me?" And they said, "Sir, you're having a heart attack." And I said, "I had a heart attack?" They're like, "No, you're having one right now." And how does that happen?
As they prepared to take Chris to the cath lab, he had a moment with his wife and children.
I said, "I love you, I love you, I love you." And I said, "Don't be mad at God." And then I went into surgery, and I said to the doctor, I said, "Save my life. I got 4 kids. I got to be here for them."
Dr. Subi Sabani was ready.
We took him to the cath lab. He had a completely blocked right coronary artery. We opened it with a stent, and he did very well.
That would be an understatement.
I had a heart attack on Sunday, and then 7 days later, I went back out and I ran. I ran very slow, and with the doctor's permission. 2 months later, we ran the 5K turkey trot downtown Detroit.
Chris is doing marvelous. He's a textbook picture of the patient you want to have.
Chris is now determined to make a difference.
I got a second chance at life, and over the last couple months, I've started a cardiac patient-led support group for people who have had heart attacks called Second Chances.
He also wants to make sure everyone realizes how critical it is to learn hands-only CPR.
This is a blind spot. I don't have them trained in CPR. Yeah, I know how to do CPR. I've been trained a dozen times.
You never expect those moments, but you can prepare for them. It's so important.
You have only 5-10 minutes before there's a brain damage that's irreversible. So yes, CPR is very essential, and most of the people who mix it have had CPR by family member or coworker or bystander.
Chris is forever grateful that Karley was by his side that fateful day.
She saved my life. I told her afterwards, I said, every parent wants to know, did they raise their kids right? And I thought I wouldn't get the answer to that question until she got married and had kids of her own. But on that day, when it counted, she stayed calm, cool, collected, did all the right things, and she saved my life. Dr. Sabahi saved my life.
I just am so overwhelmed by gratitude and emotions. Like, he's here still. Yeah.
I give her a hug every day.
Yeah, I make it a habit.
Every day.
Now, Chris encourages everyone over the age of 50 to talk with your doctor about your heart risks and at least get a stress test. Chris's entire family plans to learn hands-only CPR tomorrow afternoon at a special event at the Gardner White store in Shelby Township. You can learn more about how to join his Second Chances Heart Attack Support Group with this story on clickondetroit.com.
Gives so much credit to Karley, remaining so calm,
cool,
and
calm,
not
and
listening
collected.
and saying, "I'm calling 911."
Exactly,
Wow.
exactly.
And
yeah.
he was prepared. You said, like, he had the smoke alarms and did the drills and everything at home for other emergencies.
Absolutely. Chris even has has fire extinguishers mounted on the wall inside his house, but most heart attacks happen at home, and 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests happen at home. So this is a situation we need to be prepared for, because you're most likely to need to know CPR to save someone you love. So
I know everyone always thinks if you do the CPR, you're like helping some stranger, but like you said, it's your mom, your dad,
exactly,
it's your aunt.
somebody you love. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Kim.
Sure thing.